What is going on, Beamer fans? Welcome back to Beamer Review. For today's video, we're going to be going over the number one mistake you can make owning a BMW. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel, Beamer Review, what we do here is teach you everything there is to know about BMWs. We go over every single hidden tip trick in the book. So if you want to learn everything there is to know about your BMW, do yourself a favor, subscribe to this channel because we put out content every single week. Before we get started, if you guys needed a really cool BMW key fob cover for one of the new BMW keys, the links for those are going to be right down below. Please feel free to check those out at the end of the video. So let's go ahead and get started. What's the number one thing you could do wrong owning a BMW? For this video, we'll be going over what that is and all the things that could go wrong if you make this mistake. Now, the vast majority of people who are watching this channel probably already have this all set up ready to go because you guys all do a really good job of staying in tune with everything that I put out. But I do bump into many different clients on a day-to-day basis who still do not get the main reasons on why you must set up this one little thing that can make a huge difference, and that is going to be our BMW ID. For this video, let's actually go over all the different things that could go wrong or the features that you may not have available to you if you were to not set this up or make sure that this is activated or synced every single time you get into your BMW. So let's go over what those are. First off and foremost is going to be your seat position and your side mirror position. And if you have a BMW that has adjustable powered steering, that is also going to be customized to your BMW ID. Whenever you get into your car, or if you were to switch off drivers, the BMW can detect whichever person is getting into the car because of their designated key fob that is linked to their BMW ID. So that whenever the right person gets into the car, the BMW already knows, and it'll go ahead and adjust your steering wheel if it's powered, and your side mirrors and your seat to make sure that it is fully customized. Not only that, many different people have a different way of adjusting their climate control. Some people like to keep it in a manual mode. Some people like to keep it in an automatic mode like I do. But yes, depending on whichever way you have it set up, your BMW ID will also recognize the way you like to keep your climate control, all the different settings. If you had made adjustments to your individual settings here, it'll also remember all these different settings as well. Favorite radio stations. If you do not have a BMW ID set up, the vehicle will not allow you to save your favorite radio station. So let's just say, for example, let's go into music, and right over here, if we have our FM radio, what you'll notice is if you don't have a BMW ID set up, you won't be able to save it as a preset. So if you are someone who likes to use Sirius radio, FM radio, AM radio, you definitely want to make sure your BMW ID set up so you can go ahead and save those to your presets folder. Navigation destination. Right over here, we have our navigation located here on the bottom. Depending on which BMW you have, you may also have it right down here too. But yes, if you do not have a ID set up, your BMW will not allow you to save favorite destinations. Not only that, it won't allow you to save your home address along with your work address and many other GPS navigation. If you are owning one of the newer BMWs, you'll notice that if you don't have a ID set up, more likely than not, you may not have your BMW app set up. Now, if you don't have your BMW app set up, you're missing out on a ton of different features. Not only is the app very important to get software updates, you do have to have the app now to get software updates because it does download the data from the cloud to the phone, then from the phone to the car. So you have to have the app for that. Along with that, you're going to miss out on remote functions such as lock, unlock, headlights on, or the horn, or even remote start if your BMW has that, or preconditioning, depending on whichever BMW you have. And also, if you are using the BMW maps quite a bit, you're going to miss out on real-time traffic updates as well. Another two very good ones, if you have multiple BMWs inside your household, this is going to be a good one if you are someone that does. Setting up your BMW ID in different BMWs will allow you to transfer your settings between the two BMWs as well. So say, for example, if there was a setting within this iDrive system here that I were to switch up, it would switch up into my other BMW as well if I had one. Fortunately, I don't, but hopefully one day I will have two of them. Also, if you're wondering about my screen, I get this question all the time. I do have a M series vehicle, which does come with this different layout. So if you guys were wondering, that is the reason why this layout is different. You can only get that if you have an M series vehicle. This one is also good if you use the BMW GPS a lot. There is a function or a tab inside the My BMW app where you can send a navigation straight to the car, and then you will see the address pop up into the car, and then just click on it, and then you can be ready to go. That is going to be one of the things that you may miss out on if you use the BMW GPS a lot. Briefly, just going back to the My BMW app again, no ID, no BMW app. And if you have no BMW app, you're going to miss out on a few different things that your vehicle might have differently compared to other BMWs. But Say for example, my vehicle has this remote 3D view where I could do some really cool things like see who's parked beside me. I would lose out on that. If you are someone who tends to lose your BMW, hopefully not, or if you just park in a really big parking lot and you're not sure where your BMW is parked, you will lose out on the feature where your BMW app will tell you where your BMW is parked. Your BMW ID is also crucial to set up if you are someone who wants to maintain their private information. If you store your information, such as the places you've navigated to and whatnot, if you were to save those in your guest profile, anybody that gets into your car would have access to all your different destinations. If you have a BMW ID set up, those will be tied to your profile, and someone would have to get into your profile in order to see all that private information. That is not just limited to the places you've traveled to as a destination, but even things like phone contacts and whatnot would also be synced and stored to your BMW ID, so no one else has access to that. Very, very crucial if you are someone who tends to valet park your car a lot. There is a valet mode that BMWs have too. There will be a separate video on that, so stay tuned. But yes, keep in mind, if you are someone who likes to maintain their private information, make sure you have a BMW ID set up. Don't go entering in private information while your guest profile is active, because then anyone can have access to it. Going back to software updates. So yes, BMW ID is needed for the BMW app. BMW app is needed for software updates. Software updates are very, very crucial to do in BMWs. They do come out, say for example, around every 3-4 months, depending on the BMW. But the reason why it is important to do software updates is to make sure all the bugs and glitches are fixed. If you have, sometimes there might be a software update where you can change the layout on the screen as well. Say for example, with some BMWs that were first released with iDrive 8, many of the higher end BMWs such as the X5 and X6s were able to upgrade to 8 from 8 to 8.5. So in instances like that, you want to make sure your BMW ID is set up so you can use your app to get those software updates. Software updates are also a big deal if you are someone who's having phone connection issues. Software updates will fix those minor little glitches to make sure your phone stays more stable to the vehicle, and that is also just one of many other examples on why you have to make sure your BMW is up to date with the latest software. If you're not sure on where to look for that, you can go into your BMW app, click on your car, go all the way down to the bottom, and then you're going to see this tab right down here where it says remote software update. If there was one due, you would see it here. Or if you were on your BMW, you can go into this settings menu, just go into browse and then type in remote software update. You're going to see the screen that shows right over here. Click on that, and then if there was a software update due, which I think my car is actually due, which I'm gonna do as soon as the winter is gone here in just about a month or so. But yes, if there was a software update that was due, you would see it pop up right in here. Another reason is gonna be if you have BMW's Driver's Assistant Professional, where the car can do things like self-drive on the highway or do that little traffic jam mode or even switch lanes all by itself. If you have Driver's Assistant Professional, you have to have a BMW ID set up in order to use this guy, or else it won't work. All new BMWs come with 4 years of roadside assistance, which is going to be related to this SOS button that we have right over here. Every BMW should have this guy here. If you don't have a ID set up, this guy is also not going to be activated. So if you were to have a flat tire, and if you don't have your BMW ID set up, there is going to be a good chance that this guy is not going to work for you either. So keep that in mind. BMW ID must be set up in order to use things like roadside assistance and activate other subscriptions. All the newer BMWs are also coming out with this really cool feature called Digital Key Plus. Now, granted, if you have Digital Key Regular, this also pertains to that. But yes, BMWs, the new ones, such as the new X3s, are going to roll out with BMW Digital Key Plus, where you can simply keep your phone inside your pocket and then just walk up to your car. It'll unlock the car, and then you can also keep your phone in the pocket to just basically operate your vehicle just like you would a normal key fob. Don't have the ID set up, you're not going to have your BMW app set up, which won't allow you to connect that. Or even if you were to have your app set up, if you don't have an ID set up, it's still not going to allow you to use your phone as a digital key. So these are some of the many reasons why you must set this up. Again, I know that many of our viewers do already have this set up, but yes, keep in mind that your BMW ID can be linked to your key, and then the key will talk to the car, letting the car know that it is you getting into the car, and then your customized settings will populate accordingly. Again, as mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm still getting a ton of clients who don't have this set up. You must have this set up if you have a new BMW. I'm sure you already know by now, but don't have the ID set up, you're going to be missing out on a ton of different features that your BMW could do that you could use on a daily basis and make your BMW driving experience that much better. So make sure you check your BMW and make sure you have your ID set up going forward. That is all for this video. If you all had any questions, write those down below. Plenty more videos coming throughout this year for 2025. We are going to be doing a better job of trying to upload more consistently. So make sure you do yourself a favor and subscribe. Again, ask away any questions you have. I have officially caught up with all the different comments. So if you do comment down below, there will be a good chance that I will respond back to you. So don't hesitate to ask away. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you all for the next one.